Assalamualaikum everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining from. So just to orient you, you're joining the bi-weekly APPNA webinars, which are done under the APPNA Merit subcommittee. So APPNA, as most of you already know, is the Association of Pakistani Physicians in North America, and then the Merit subcommittee is the Medical Education, Research, International Training, and Transfer of Technology subcommittee, where we hold these webinars every 2 weeks. I am your moderator. My name is Sarfraz Hasni, and I am a physician scientist. I am a director of the lupus clinical research at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. And with us, our panelist, Dr. Saeed Uzair, who's the force behind all these webinars, and Dr. Umar Hayat, who's also a regular uh, behind these supporting these webinars, and Dr. Jabin, who herself is a has done number of webinars and is also a panelist today. And I think we are also going to be joined by Dr. Mohammed Akhtar Hamid perhaps a little bit later today. These webinars are done every 2 weeks, and even if you miss something during the webinars, they are recorded and they are on the YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to that YouTube channel. And also we have WhatsApp groups. We have put in a lot of resources, the digital library, and we can put all those links in the chat. If you have any question and answers, there is a Q&A button at the bottom. Just please post your questions there. We'll try to get to them as much as possible. I know this is a very popular topic, so there may be tons of questions there. With that being said, it's my honor to introduce Dr. SHAKEEL AHMED, who is back by the popular demand. So he did a webinar recently, and now he's back. Initially, he talked about the Canadian medical system and how to get into the medical doctors' entry to Canada, and today he is talking about the landscape of medical doctors' entry to US with opportunities and challenges, and giving us a US perspective. He had a introduction in the past, but just to provide a very brief introduction, he's a professor of pharmacology and clinical sciences at the American University School of Medicine in Aruba. He has been teaching international medical graduates for more than almost 2 decades now, and preparing them for the Medical Council of Canada, qualifying exams, as well as USMLE. And during his clinical job, he has orchestrated several specialized area, including teaching basic sciences, medicine, surgery, pediatrics, and several other fields. And since for 5 years, he's been the professor of American University School of Medicine in Aruba. He teaches basic science and clinical skills. Originally, he's a graduate of Dow Medical College, Karachi, and he did his postgraduate certification in pediatrics from College of Physicians and Surgeons. And then he later on in his Saudi Arabia, and then moved to Canada. So he has a long introduction, and now obviously there's not enough time to say all the things, but I'm sure that all of you are waiting to hear from him. So again, thank you so much, Dr. SHAKEEL AHMED, for taking time to share the experience and give the knowledge for people who are in their early careers or maybe late in the career who are looking into moving into US. So without further ado, I hand it over to you. But one more thing, I always want to make sure that we acknowledge the technical team, which is run by Waleed and his team, and they make sure that these webinars are run smoothly, and then the videos are available as soon as the webinars are done. So their work is done behind the scenes, so nobody knows, but these webinars will not be possible if Waleed and his team was not working so hard behind the scenes. So thank you so much, Waleed, and your team. And now over to you, Dr. SHAKEEL.
Okay, thank you, Sarfaraz, and welcome everybody, and have a good day. I'm Dr. SHAKEEL, and thank you our panelists, Dr. Jabin, Dr. Uzair, Dr. Umar Hayat, and our technical team led by Waleed. I'm going to share my screen right now, And this webinar is basically focused on IMGs. You know that there are basically two major groups of the doctors. One, those who graduated from the medical school outside their home country, whether it's Canada or whether it's USA. So they are called IMGs or International Medical Graduate. And the one who graduated from the local medical school, for example, University of Toronto or University of New York, University of Chicago, and whatever the local university. So they are called US medical graduate or Canadian medical graduate. So we will focus mostly the international medical graduate. Again, subdivision of international medical graduate are also that one group is those who are living or resident of US and Canada, but their education was outside the US and Canada. They are also international medical graduate. And the other group is those, for example, if you are living in Pakistan, if you are living in India, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Africa, whatever is your country, Philippines, and then you graduated and you want to move into the USA or Canada. So these are the different groups of the doctors looking for their future in healthcare system in North America. Last time I went through the presentation to the Canadian doctors, Canadian pathway, and this time we will review the landscape of medical doctors, opportunities and challenges in United States of America. That is the topic for today. And before I start, one thing should be very clear to our doctors that passing exam is a different than getting citizenship. So don't please correlate these two things because you may pass the exam, but even you cannot get an entry visa to USA or Canada. So make sure that you don't confuse these two, like the citizenship or getting into the country versus passing the exam. Because now the exam, you can write your exam, USA or Canadian exam, from your home country. Like, for example, if you are in Delhi or if you are in Islamabad, you can write your exam. But it doesn't mean that you get the visa to enter once you pass the exam. So it should be very clear that you understand. After that, this introduction brief, what are the IMGs, what are the US medical graduate or Canadian medical graduate or of like the Pakistani or Indian medical graduate. I will proceed and just to add one more big category, especially in the US program, and that is the Caribbean medical graduate. And they are also considered as IMGs. And since for the last 4 years I am in teaching here, the US student, so I know that they have a very high input in the US healthcare system as compared to other IMGs. So this is a good news for those parents who are living in US or Canada because we guarantee, we means Caribbean school, they guarantee the your elective and core rotation in US hospital. So this is a plus point. While the overseas doctors, for example, from India and Pakistan, they normally they don't have this kind of opportunity. They need to get some visa B1, B2, or the other visa, and then I will add some of the slide on these Caribbean plus the visa. Okay, so that will be a very good for you. Just after this, let's start. So my first, you can see, I will move on to my. So the most important thing is the ECFMG certification. And this is a book. And this book, you go to the ECFMG website and please download this book. It's a very nice book indeed. And you will enjoy this book. what are the different details and everything, every information. So this is the latest copy. And there are multiple challenges, as we discussed in the previous presentation as well, that the Canadian or challenges means that those who are coming from back home and then they come first time to the US or Canada, then what kind of challenges they can have. For example, there is uh, some bias from the medical student, staff, or attending physician and patient. There could be language barrier. There could be communication skill. There could be some professional attitude, soft skill, and social acculturation. And these all are important that they should know that what are the good point or the good news for the international medical graduate is that in 2024, the IMG match into the residency program, they are 61%. So 61% of the total applicant. So out of 9,450, out of 14,772, you can see that this is the total applicant and about 9,045 they are matched. So this is a good news for the IMG that if you will work hard, you can get the matching into the residency program. And remember, the residency program is a prerequisite both in US or in Canada for the license. Without residency, you won't get. So just the match day is a big day. Why we call it match day is a big day? Because that's the main entrance to at the main gateway to your healthcare system. Okay. So, as I told you, that there are some cultural, financial, professional examination, and these issues are faced by the new doctor. So, it's a good that while you are back home in your native countries, please try to understand and do your homework very well. Okay, you understand uh, what are the cultural norms. You can watch, let's say, American movies, have good funds available. Your professional understanding can be polished if you follow the USMLE book, like First Aid or Kaplan. Go through the Kaplan lecture or the other lecture while you are doing, and then examination. So the examination skill and how to answer the computer-based, how to do the computer-based examination, what are the American like value, because why I'm saying this, because the lab value in the US, they are not following SI system, while in Canada they are following that SI system. There could be, for example, instead of cholesterol level, it could be in Canada millimole per liter, while in USA it should be let's say 200 milligram per deciliter. So you should know about these changes as well while you are going to the country, North American country. Okay. Cultural shock, some of the things we have discussed, so I will just go quickly with the slide that there are some uh, diversity. The good point here is that the white, let me take the laser pointer, that 56%, the topmost population of physician in followed by Asian, and then Hispanic 6%, and the black population is 5%. Right. So this is the major chunk in this pie chart. You can see that is the local U.S. doctors, including that white population, 56%, and that followed by Asian doctors. And these Asian doctors, they are uh, previously the Pakistani doctors. They have a very good ratio, but now after this 56%, the next number is the Indian doctors. So Indian doctors now dominate, and obviously it reflects our deterioration in our medical education system in Pakistan. I should be very honest with my opinion. You may or may not agree, but this is one of the reasons why the Indians they are coming. And then examination skill, what are the, how to crack the multiple choice question, usage of calculator on the screen, and then are you going through the journal, uh, American Medical Journal and the American books? Do you understand what is the STEM, what is the keyword in your questions, and what is the uh, leads in, and then lack in the clinical appraisal. This is the last point is very important. That if your clinical appraisal, like understanding of the scenario or the clinical decision making, uh, has some deficiency, then that won't let you pass the exam. It is not the memory test. It is the understanding of the management, understanding of the basic sciences, why you are doing this test, why you select this answer. So the background knowledge, do they make sure that our doctors, they know the reasoning. For example, if you are doing, let's say, uh, mm, uh, ultrasound in the acute cholecystitis, what you are looking in the ultrasound. Okay, so that knowledge is required, that why you did it. And if you get the ultrasound report, can you read it? Can you read the DEXA scan report? What you are looking in that report? Okay, so that thing. Similarly, in the journal, can you read the graph? Do you know what is the confidence interval? Do you know what is the meaning of a standard deviation? Do you know that what is the meaning of different data? Uh, and a lot of things. Okay. Then there is a professional gap, and then professional gap not only on these knowledge, what I was referring to. There is another thing is that uh, the we have, as I said, that the critical appraisal or clinical appraisal versus memory. So this is working back home, while this is working in the advanced or developed countries. Similarly, the English language, especially the normal life language. Okay, so you should know that what is the language they are using for, not the medical, because you are good in medical terminology, but you can't discuss the problem with the medical terminology with the patient. Patient comes with a day-to-day language. Do you know? A recency of practice is important. You should go through the clinical practice guideline according to the US Preventive Service or US Preventive Task Force. So in the Canadian, we have Canadian Task Force. In US, we have the guideline, especially the screening guideline for cancer or other things. Please review this website. In the end of my presentation, I have given you all the address for the website. For example, here I have given you the link for that website, so you will get it. Similarly, the basic sciences and data interpretation, ethical issues, and behavioral sciences. So these are few more professional points. Now coming to the 2024 match result in the US, and that are from the US National Residence Matching Services. So they perform the IMGs, as I told you, they perform about 60 to 61% match rate, which is pretty high and very impressive indeed. And more than 36,000 US graduates were matched. So just to compare that, what is the difference between US graduate and international graduate? So international graduate match rate is 60% out of the applicant, while the US graduate match rate is approximately 34% more, and that is 94%. Okay, and this same scenario reflect in the Canadian matching as well. Okay, about 98 to 99% Canadian medical school graduate, they got matching, while the Canadian matching rate in Canada is much lower than the US match rate. That uh, what are the areas? Uh, Most of the IMG they get match. The most of the areas where the IMG get match, they are the internal medicine, the majority, the family medicine, psychiatry, and these are the common match. In US, these are the common, while in Canada, the family medicine is the top. Here in the US, internal medicine is the top, and most of the well-paying, financial paying, I'm referring, or the top specialty, they go U.S. medical graduate, this group. It doesn't mean that IMG they don't, but they are little as compared to U.S. Uh, so if you come to the final essence of performance in 2024 match, so you will see that the total IMG match about 9,000, and out of the 9,000, you can see the US citizen IMG. Now, this is important what you are looking at. The US citizen IMG match are 3,000. And if you look 3,181, and if you non-US IMG, they are almost the double. Okay. So this is a good news for those who are not living in US. Okay. If you are not living in the US, then even then, so these US IMGs means that they are citizen of US, but they went outside and they did the medical schooling from Caribbean, or let's say uh, Aga Khan University, Pakistan, or from India, or anywhere they are called, or let's say UK or Ireland, anywhere. They are, well, non-US citizen means that they were never a citizen of US, but their match score is better. This is just a breakup of the IMG's performance in the main residency match. You can see here that this is the like what are the this is the US citizen match, and this is the non-US citizen match, and the majority of the position, they are the dark blue internal medicine. This is the internal medicine IMG position, followed by the family medicine. This one is the, so two position are. So this is the breakup of the how many participant versus how many match. Okay. So for example, 14,000 participant total, and the match is 9,000. Okay. So if you compare 2023 data versus 2024, so it is on the increase. Roughly, you can say that increase. It depends upon the population and the number of doctors, and to be honest, make sure that the exams are being more competitive. So don't think that they are because higher match because the exam are less like easier. They are no more easier. They are, but the student are working hard. Now, pathway, that's the main topic for today. That what are the how you get the license to practice in the USA. Certification process, basic process is, as you know, that your medical school name should be in the FAMER or Word Directory. So Word Directory of the medical school, and then you need to do the ECFMG sponsor note tab should be there, and the if your final diploma, the medical school diploma, is not verified by those authorities or simply ECFMG, then you are not applicable or you are not eligible for the certification process. There are a few steps in the US, so they are called steps of the United States medical licensing examination. So, number one, after the certification of the ECFMG, you make sure that your school is recognized and it is ECFMG approved. Then ECFMG that certify the qualification before you are eligible for the residency program. So USMLE licensing program is a three-step program. All can be written outside the US. So that's number one point. Normally, for step one and step two, you can write you are eligible for the residency application. Step three, you can do during residency. Okay, so that is so this exam can be taken before residency or at the end of internship year. So that's both possible, but these two exams are the basic exam. So USMLE is step one. All Caribbean is one point because it's a relevant point. All Caribbean school, they focus on their syllabi is focused on step one exam. So normally about 18 to 24 month or 20 months roughly on average, student spend on the island, and we teach them all the USMLE step one. So you can understand that if a student studying for the step one, they take under the supervision and the guidance about 18 month or 20 month to prepare for step one. How come you can prepare within 3 months or 4 months? Okay, so make sure that your basic knowledge should be very good, very good. You understand everything. Okay, can you believe me? Just a simple example that I am teaching them uh, pre-calculus, the medical student, and the biostat. That's very important. And because if you don't know what is the difference between the p-value, uh, I know that one of the student, when I asked that they don't know what is the p-value, and the p-value, what is the difference between 5%. So the 5%, uh, the student, that specific student was thinking that it is 0.5. So they don't know the difference. Some of the, like not all the, what is the 0.05 and zero point 0.5 difference. So that's important. The basic science knowledge is a very important one. Step two is basically the same like Canadian exam, like the MCC QE1 exam. So it is similar to so if you pass the MCC QE1, it means that you can easily pass the step two. But obviously, step two content, it includes the basic sciences as well. So that's why it makes it a little bit tricky exam or difficult exam. Okay, and step three is basically the patient care in your independent practice, ambulatory setting, how you can handle the patient in the triage area or in your office, or how you do. So you are fit for the residency program. Okay, our residency applications are going through the ERAS, and ERAS is the electronic residency application services in the US. Canada, it is the CARM. So it is just like in the Canada, it is Canadian Residence Matching Services. In US, it is Electronic Residency Application Service. In the So that's number one. We discussed earlier that your medical school should be registered with the World Directory or FAMR, and that's the number one point. And then ECFMG certification requirement. There could be some repetition. I'm sorry that when I made these presentations, there are some repetition, but these repetition, they are deliberate sometimes because I want to repeat that you should understand these process one more time, because sometimes our candidate, they are confused that what is the meaning of ECFMG and what is the meaning of USMLE and what is the meaning of ERS. So anyway, so the main division is NT-Health, and then NT-Health we have the sub ECFMG, and this certification is the requirement, eligibility requirement. ECFMG certification is an eligibility requirement for USMLE. Okay. And the USMLE exam are 3 steps. Before getting the license, you need to complete all these 3 steps, and then you can go through this. The last line says the residency application you can write down after step 2. Okay. Now, this is the English language test, and this English language test is also some relevant, and they have done almost mandatory for all the overseas applicant. So they should go through the occupational English testing for the medicine. Okay, so that test, you know that there are various other tests for other, for example, TOEFL in Canada. So for different, so this is a test, is mandatory for the ECFMG certification. There are various pathway, about 7 or 8 pathways, but I have selected two just to give you a brief knowledge that what are the license to practice in another country. So, eligibility requirement, number 1, good communication skill, number 2, number 3, that the pathway 1, they have license to practice in another country. That is the most important thing. For example, you have license to practice in your native country where you are coming from. Okay. So that license is required, and then you can be eligible for pathway 1. Uh, or in another country, a medical regulatory authority, whatever is the MRA of your own country. If you are licensed from this MRA or medical regulatory authority, then you are eligible for pathway 1. And plus, although now the step 2 CS has been abolished, no more, but sometime in the candidate who have written that component, that is also one of the requirement for the pathway 1. Right. If you compare the pathway 2, then it is the off key by an acceptable medical school. So they have the uh, OSCE is specifically required by MRA of that country, and then medical school is a region which is accredited by the World Federation for Medical Education. So make sure that your medical school is accredited by WFME, then you can apply through the pathway to make sure that accreditation of both your medical school and MRA is required for pathway 2. And the other ACFMG criteria. And then last is that application graduation date is on or after the January 1st, 2023. One point before I move forward, that some of the Caribbean medical school still they are not accredited, versus the top medical school, obviously they are accredited. What is the difference? What does it make the difference? Can you go to the those school, or you cannot go to those school? So the answer is yes, because USMLE accreditation is not a hurdle for the USMLE. There are, as I told you, there are various pathways. So you cannot apply for example, this pathway. You can apply on the pathway, other pathway, for example, pathway 1. So at this time, yes, you can apply and you can rotate. Uh, so there are, for example, if I give me my school where I am teaching, it is not accredited. However, our four students applied for the match this year, 2024, and I'm pleased to give you the information that our match rate was 100%. All were match, 4 out of 4. So you understand that it is because we make sure that they did the rotation and they pass USMLE step 1, they pass USMLE step 2, they were match, and now they are in the residency program. And some are in a better residency program, not only the internal medicine, all some are in a good program. Okay. Now, the certification of the ECFMG is the standard for evaluating the qualification of the IMGs. So the ECFMG certification is the prime thing what you need to go through. I will go that what are the ECFMG certification. Before ECFMG certification, you need to practice your questions via NBME, and that NBME basically help the doctors or medical student that they what is their level in their professional study, where they stand. Normally, we say that if you are above 60, then you are going in a right direction. But if your score is in the NBME examination, they are so it is better that you should not go to the step USMLE step. Okay, so this is the National Board of Medical Examiner, and that. Sorry. Next is about the examination fees. Uh, Examination fee in the US, they are less as compared to Canada. In Canada, the examination fees are much higher as compared to the US. However, if you look at this slide, you will feel something which may cause you a pain, and that is that if the US or Canadian student, they pay for the step 1 $670. All fee are in the US dollar. Then the overseas student, they have to pay $1,000. Similarly, so that is something which is obviously not very good, okay, for you. Regarding the step 3 exam, all students have to pay lump sum 915. So that is the difference between the financial discrimination between the US, and probably there is an explanation for that because they need to make the Prometric Center overseas, or they have their own explanation that why they are charging more fee because you are writing your exam from the comfort of your home. Okay. Now, step 1, USMLE, what are the content? So if you look at this wheel, then you will see this wheel or pie graph that there are 25% pathology, then we comes 15% anatomy and 14% pharmacology. Then we have microbiology 10%, 10% pathophysiology, 8% immunology, and then we have behavioral sciences and other. So you should focus your study or plan of study while you are going through your course material that what you need to study for step 1 examination. Step 1 examination is an examination of the basic science topic, what we have discussed, saw in the pie graph or chart. You should know the mechanism, principle, and the background knowledge that why the diseases are happening, why, uh, let's say, warfarin is an antidote for uh, uh, antidote of warfarin is vitamin K. So what component of vitamin K antagonize the action of warfarin? So these kind of basic sciences, they will evaluate you. It is a one-day exam with single 8-hour testing, 7 blocks, 1 hour each block, and about 40, up to 40 questions per block. Total item about 280, and there is a breakdown. Now, the result of the step one, there's a good news for all of you that initially, earlier, it was the scoring system. But now they have changed, and in 2022, they have changed. There is no more score, and the result will be the pass or fail. Okay, whatever is your score. Okay, so that is the uh, score. So that's the pass score, and this is the minimum passing score, 194, and your score is 229. So whatever is your score, they will write your performance, but the result is pass or fail. Step one score report. Now the result is coming, the pass or fail score. They will give you a detailed report. So that was what I was showing you in the back, the previous slide, this slide. It was an old report. So if you look the date, the date was June 10, 2021. So this is an old. And we are talking about the changes happening or happened in 2022. Okay. So that is the new format. And you will see the change in the symbol of the USMLE here as well. So this is the new scoring system. And new scoring system, they will give you performance on frequency distribution curve, what standard deviation you were away or forward to the passing, but they will give you that, for example, this is the pass score, minimum pass score line, and how behind you are or how forward. Once you pass, then how forward where your score goes. So that will, and then they will give you the detail that what part your performance is very good and what part it is not very good. Step 2 CK exam. So that step 2 CK exam is a clinical knowledge exam, not the basic science. And majority of the question, if you look at this graph, the about 50% of the chunk goes to the internal medicine. And therefore, we say that internal medicine is the core of your success. If you know the internal medicine, if you know the endocrine, if you know the, all the general medicine or so that is the internal medicine part, pulmonology and that. Then the pediatric, then OBGYN, and then surgery, then psychiatry, and then epidemiology. Okay. A lot of students, they are worried about the epidemiology and they do not worry about these things. So please don't worry. You may miss because that's the component of the question. The what are the number of questions coming from each discipline. These are the detail of the USMLE step. So as I told you, the clinical knowledge and skill of the high yield topic. What are the high yield topic? These are the high yield topic. Okay. These are the major chapter you should focus while you are reading through the first aid step 2 CK, or if you are going through the Kaplan note or any other U-word question bank. Emboss is a very good question bank. I'm always recommend my student Emboss explanation. Then the disease prevention, that is the epidemiology part, and then clinical sciences, basic. There are other component in the USMLE step 2 CK. And exam is again CBT or computer-based exam, and one day There are 8 1-hour block and administered in 1 9-hour testing session. Okay. Uh, Number of questions per block may vary, but normally they are up to 40 questions. Total number of items, they do not exceed more than 318 in the step 2 CK examination. Allotment of 45 minutes break is, and you can write step 1, step 2 from your home country. You don't need to come to US. You can write step 1 from Caribbean. You can write step 1 from Canada. You can write step 1 from New Delhi. You can write step 1 from Sri Lanka, Nairobi, or Islamabad. Anyone. Similarly, step 2 CK as well. This is the result report. Step 2 result report is not on pass fail. It is evaluated on your percentile chart or the distribution chart, that if you pass, then what is your score? Okay, so that score report is required. You can see the date here. It is the last year report, November 7, 2023. And then report says that 257 is the score. And if you look the student performance, so the performance is pretty impressive, because the distance between this 257 and 214, so about 40. Okay, so that is about 1, 2, and 3. Almost she crossed 3 main interval or standard deviation to that. Uh, Dr. Abdulaziz Ansari raised hand. Uh, can we answer after the presentation, Dr. Ansari, if you don't mind? Now coming to the step 3, and that is the real hospital management exam. And then step single question type, multiple item, sequential item, abstract formation, and the primum computer based case simulation. So these are the component for the step 3. And step 3 you can write down during your residency program as well. Step 3 score is not the pass-fail, and the pass-fail score is only for step 1. USMLE step 3 can also be written in your home country, but it does not guarantee you for the residency program. I'm sorry, it does not guarantee you to the entry visa. So that the entry visa, as I told you, that entry visa is different than the program. Okay. Now the step 3, day 1, I will just skip that. You can read. And then step 3 is divided into 1 and 2. You can read it in your my recording. And this is the score. So step 1 score, pass fail. Step 2 is in the 3-digit. Okay. Now the match service, and I explain you that what are the match services and what are the match rate of the IMG. There are various match program, advanced program, categorical program, and so on. That is the important slide is this one, that if you see the total US medical graduate match, if they are 9,700, then what is the component of total IMG match? It is 4,000 in every discipline. We are talking about the internal medicine, the top match, and then family medicine, the second one, and then psychiatry, and so on. US international medical graduate, they have match rate of 67%. US IMG. If you compare the non-US IMG, their match rate is 59%. Okay. So This is 67%, and that is about 60%. Not bad. I should say not bad. It is very, very close by. So, good job, IMGs. Okay, then licensing body, you can go through the website. I won't go into detail of these licensing body. There are some visa program. I will quickly go through the different visa. So the B1 and B2 is the tourist or study visa, while J1 and H1B, they are the different kind of job visas or changing the visa. So these detail you can go to the website I have mentioned. I have given you the some of the highlight feature, some of the feature of the J1 visa. So it is for the cultural and generally easier than the H1B visa. H1B is a difficult and long time visa, and there are some requirements you can look in the recording. Then temporary work visa is the H1B. That is primarily the temporary work visa, and there are some key requirements for these visas. Caribbean Medical School, few slide about the Caribbean Medical School, less rigorous, no requirement for MCAT like in Canadian Medical School or US Medical School. You do required MCAT score. In top Canadian Caribbean school, you do required MCAT, but some school they do not require MCAT score. Okay, that's number one. Second, basic science, 18 to 20 months. They are economical. If you look the US tuition fee in the US MD1 to MD4 program, they are about 60,000 per year. If you compare these to the Caribbean Medical School tuition fee, they are about 30,000 per year. So you can save 50% and you can get the good chances of residency. This is an example of my university. For example, the pre-med, if you add pre-med, then 5 year. Otherwise, if you have done the pre-med back home in your, then 4 year program, basic MD, you do the step one, you do the step two. Once you do the step one, then there are guaranteed clinical rotation in the US, and then you get entry into the program, residency program, and you get the ECFMG certification, and you can write during the residency program USMLE step 3, and you become practicing physician in US. This is the last slide, the changes in the 2025 next year. So there are some changes in the accreditation, and some school or some program, some pathway, they need accreditation. Okay, that's number one change. Second is that if you have attempted a step 4 or step 4 or more times, incomplete attempt, then you are ineligible to apply. So that's the eligibility of the requirement, that if 4 time fail or 4 time application, then you no more eligible. And I told you about the accreditation. Okay. There is a pathway to bypass that accreditation program. You may need to make a request for the program director. The last is about the selected references for you, so that whatever I have used the material I have gone through, it took me a lot of time. And then thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shakeel, because this was it's a huge topic and you tried to cover
Yeah.
it short time period. And I see that there is a lot of questions and there was a lot of excitement about your talk. And I see a lot of chat, but we are very limited in terms of the time that we have left with. I will ask.
What you shared on that, you seem like a nice woman.
Okay, I will ask Dr. Saeed Uzair to maybe make some comments, and Dr. Jabin, Dr. Umar, Dr. Sarwat are all here, and then maybe if we can take some questions because there are a lot of questions. There is a lot of interest about this.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sarfraz and Dr. Shkeel. Load of compliment. I know how much time you have spent really to create all this thing. It's a massive exercise to update all the data. That is phenomenal, and we are extremely grateful for your very valuable time, effort, hard work, really, to bring all these facts. So I will request Dr. Jabin to quickly go through with the question and facilitate their answer from Dr. Shakil. Over to Dr. Jabin, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zaran. Amazing presentation, Dr. Shakeel, as always. So, first question is basically about I'm doing residency in internal medicine, and the program is under College of Physician and Surgeon of Pakistan. Should I mention CPSP in my experience section or hospital name?
Yes, you should mention and the College of Physician Surgeon or all residency program, what you have done in your hometown, home country, you must mention. And there are certain institutions which are recognized in Canada and US, and certain hospitals they are not recognized. I can give you, for example, family medicine, Fatma Memorial Hospital and Ziauddin Hospital, Aga Khan Hospital, and new program of the Dow University of Health Sciences. So make sure that you are enrolled in a better program.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shakeel. The second question is, despite USMLE, any other ways for doctor to get any other healthcare job?
Well, that is not the part of our presentation. There are a lot of like a research job or the physician assistant job, but that will take a long presentation. So I focused only on the medical. But yes, you are right. There are a lot of job, and if you are experienced enough, recency of practice is a hurdle, then you definitely go for the other job. For that, you need to get admission in the US universities or Canadian universities and get the North American experience, then you will get the job.
The third question is, how can Canadian immigrants, like international medical graduate, I'm sorry, Canadian international medical graduates get into competitive specialties like neurosurgery?
Difficult question. If you have the fellowship or background knowledge of the neurosurgery program in your home country or in Canada, then you may qualify in the US for that program. But to be honest, these highly specialist plastic surgery, neurosurgery, or the other, to be honest, all surgical specialties, because they are highly paid, so they are highly competitive as well. And until unless you have the specific elective rotation or elective experience or fellowship experience, it is very difficult, to be honest, to get in those programs.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Shakeel, about the surgical specialties. The next question is, I'm done with step 3. Is it compulsory to be done with it before ERAS application, or can I delay it till October?
It is not compulsory. You can delay till October.
The second last question, I know we are almost at time, so I will just take this question as a last question, and then you can always reach out to us on the WhatsApp, etc. Can you guide us on getting a visa for US clinical electives? I'm not sure whether that is the scope of today's presentation, but I will pass it on to Dr. Shakeel.
Okay, I'm afraid that not my expertise. I guess that US government allow me to give the visa. Okay.
Yeah, I will concur that these kind of discussions is very tricky, and we do not have any anything to suggest do this or do that to get the
But
visa.
if I can just quickly interject, is that I
Yes,
found that the
yeah,
visa has been very easy to get these days for
yeah.
clinical elective. As long as you have a letter, I have heard yet to hear. I mean, I have like tons of people coming in, but I've not heard so far that somebody got rejected. So as long as you have a invitation from a US place that you're getting clinical electives, I think they are pretty lenient these
Yes,
days to
yes,
give the visa.
I agree with the Sarfraz that please, even if you are in final year MBBS in Pakistan or India or anywhere, get a visa, B1, B2 visa, any visa, and you can get as long as 6 month validity, and you can do elective rotation in US, and that will help you to polish your application, and you have very high chances. But please, I will strongly recommend apply for the visa from your country and come to US and complete your clinical training, elective training, and you can get 6 month visit visa. Yes.
Yeah, and I have seen a positive trend in getting the visa, even in Canada, which is thought to be very, very difficult. But in last 6 months, I have seen it is getting processed quicker and a lot of success in people getting the visa until unless you have a legitimate letter of invitation, you have to prove that you are going for this purpose, there are high chances for getting the visa. So with this, I will pass it on to Surfraz to close it up because we are already 2 minutes above our
We are
time.
already, I don't know, Dr. Umar, seems like that you want to say something. So I want to make sure that we hear from
Thank
you.
you. Wonderful presentation. It's not relevant to my background, but I leave it to you guys. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So again, Dr. Shakeel, tremendous effort behind this. And I know that this is a very valuable and something that a lot of people in their early careers, at least, are need this type of information. So thank you for your time, and thank you for spending so much effort in creating this. And thank you to Dr. Zair and Dr. Javeen and Dr. Sarva, Dr. Umar for always being there as our panelists. And of course, the technical team behind the scenes, Waleed and his team, always thankful to you. Dr. Zaid, do you want to say something?
No, thank you. Please, you can close. It's
Okay, so with that, we will end, and please be on the lookout for our next in series webinar, which will be 2 weeks from now on Saturday, the same place, same time. So please be on the watch out. And for anyone who has missed a part of this presentation or would like to go back and listen to something, it will be available on the YouTube channel and also the WhatsApp group. The links have been provided in the chat. So with that, I will end, and Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thank you so much.
I will just add
Well,
one quick that if anybody has any question regarding Canadian or USMLE question, USMLE problem or US, don't hesitate to contact me. We are always here from the APPNA platform to help you.
thank you.
Thank you.
That was very generous of you. Thank you so much, everyone, and Khuda Hafiz. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Hafiz, Assalamu alaikum.